guys, this is Youth Below on my way to work this morning. Just wanted to have a few thoughts to share with you, kind of as a follow-up to Moral Rebellion that I did last night. Up here is Bass Pro. Maybe I'll skip work today and go there instead. But anyway, regardless, back to the important matters. The only way we can live lives, or the only way we can get the government out of our lives, is to live lives that don't require the government to be involved. I've heard a lot of debate about whether or not America was founded as a Christian country or not. And I have to say, as a Christian, this nation was not necessarily meant to be founded as a Christian nation. And I know there's a lot of debate about that, but let me explain. The idea behind this country was not to make a country that made a preference out of any particular religion or spiritual belief. Everybody was supposed to be free to believe and worship as you did, as you wanted to, or not. They came from a country that did have a state religion, and so they did not want a state religion. However, they did agree. Now, like I said, the founders did not all agree themselves on who was God, if there was a God, what was God. They didn't agree on theology, but they did agree on the biblical foundation for a moral society. Because if you live a biblical life, you will be living a life that does not need government involvement, because you are regulating yourself. You are living to a high moral standard. You are living to a standard that does no wrong to your neighbors, that does no wrong to your family. You're not murdering, you're not stealing, you're not allowing envy and greed to control your life. You're just being responsible and self-reliant, working with your hands and taking care of yourself and your family. And the government doesn't need to be involved. That's why they wanted the Bible to be a foundation for our society. Not because they wanted us all to be Christians or to force anybody to any particular spiritual belief. You're free to believe as you want, but they knew that the biblical principles were going to be the best way to have a strong and sure foundation so that the American people can be the strength of this country, not the government. Our answer is not going to be out of the government. It's not going to be the Democrats. It won't be the Republicans. It won't even be the Tea Party. The Tea Party-backed candidates can only hold out so long with that kind of government pressure. The strength of this country is the Americans, and it is us as Americans who need to stand up for what's right and what's true, and we need to stop escaping into all of our little avenues of escape. We need to start checking back in and taking a stand and taking this country back, one by one, family by family, community by community. We need to stop being offended by everything we disagree with. We need to stop wanting government to pass laws to regulate everything that we disagree with. You know, on a silly little note, we've got people who want to sue and get all up in arms when they see the nativity in a public square or something, and yet they don't even bat an eye on Halloween when there's pictures of witches and demons and ghosts everywhere you go, all the fast food restaurants everywhere. Now, to me, it's not a big deal. I'm not offended by pictures of witches and ghosts. To me, they don't even exist. It's just pretend. Plus, I realize that there's not everybody agrees with me, but I'm not going to go raising Cain about it. So why are you so offended about seeing nativity on the public lawn? So what? No big deal. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. Why do people get so offended when a judge puts the 10 Commandments in the courthouse? He's not judging you, and he's not dealing out punishment according to the Old Testament law. You're still perfectly legal to have other gods. You're perfectly legal to have graven images about anything. In fact, you're perfectly legal to envy and covet your neighbor's wife if you want. You can't be prosecuted for these things. What the judge is upholding is that These godly ideas and principles are the foundation for moral society. If you live according to those things, you won't find yourself in court being prosecuted. Do not murder, do not steal. The coveting and envy only drives you to do the first two things. So if you're living according to those things, you won't even be in a court. But he can't judge you and prosecute you and punish you according to the Old Testament law. So why are you so offended by it? I don't know. It's just one of the things that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. People who can't regulate themselves. If you don't regulate yourself, someone else will. Who? I'd much rather see Americans regulate themselves and get the government out of it so that they can focus on national security and dealing with the important things, borders, all that good stuff. They don't need to be dealing with our individual lives and morality and issues like that. Anyway, I know there's so much more to talk about on this subject. I don't got a whole lot more time this morning. But anyway, thanks for listening, and have a good day.